Hey everyone, me Kevin here with multiple updates, including answers to Joe Biden's plan to either provide $1,400 stimulus checks or $2,000 stimulus checks. Which will it be? I'll also provide updates on issues with the $2,000 stimulus checks. Yeah, I said issues. And we'll talk about Biden's tax increase plan and dates. Are they coming sooner than expected? We'll also start by hitting updates on the $600 checks. Folks, this is going to be a pretty detailed video, and I think you're going to find a lot of people will find it helpful, so consider sharing it if you find it helpful. All right, let's get into the updates. First, let's start with the $600 checks and the PPP updates. The PPP will officially open on January 11th and will be available first to community financial institutions. I'll explain that in a moment. First, draw loans with the PPP will be available on January 11th. Second draw loans will be available to apply for on January 13th. Then all others will open up shortly thereafter, all the other banking institutions after these dates. Now, there is no word yet on EIDL grants, still no guidance from the SBA on EIDL grants, but a community financial institution is a bank generally that has less than $1 billion in average total assets over the last 3 years. Basically, try your local banks first, your local credit unions and your smaller institutions first, before you start going to the PayPal and the Chase and these other companies. Now, if you have not yet received your $600 stimulus check, I've got a few resources for you. Write these down or pause the video and then write them down. The first one is go to metkevin.com/tracker. And there is a stimulus tracker tool here that you can use to track when your stimulus check will be deposited by bank. So it'll break down by which bank in terms of which banks are depositing checks when. And when your state is doing the $300 boost, or if your state is already doing the $300 boost and when it'll start. You can also go to metkevin.com/IRS account to get your tax transcript by filling out the create an account form and viewing your tax transcript directly with the IRS to see what your distribution date is for your stimulus check. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Now, this is something obviously you could just Google IRS create account for tax transcripts as well if you don't want to use the redirect link. Totally fine. Now, the metkevin.com/tracker, third-party tool. metkevin.com/IRS account, that just redirects you directly to the IRS. Now, not to confuse you with the links, but I got another one. There is a new third-party tracking service. This is not affiliated with the IRS, but this tool has given people a lot of help. There are some free options. There is also a paid option. So just fully transparent here. You can go to metkevin.com/skip to check out that tool. It's Hello Skip is the service. metkevin.com/skip will get you there. You can learn all about it. Now, let's talk about the $2,000 stimulus checks, tax plans, and infrastructure plans. There are new reports out just minutes ago that Biden's promise, along with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi's promise to deliver $2,000 stimulus checks, may actually run into issues. That's because Joe Manchin, someone who heavily argued for the $600 stimulus check package, said he would, quote, absolutely not support $2,000 stimulus checks. He is a Democrat. And now, even though Democrats have power in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, you are now going to start seeing fractures and divisions in the Democratic Party because you can't have unity in Congress. You just can't have it. And Democrats, well, if they lose just one vote, they don't have power anymore. Losing a single vote means Democratic priorities cannot move forward until that vote is convinced to vote along with Democrats. This gives a lot of great power to these, quote, moderate Democrats. I'm saying quote there because that's the quote that reporters are using to describe Joe Manchin. You might think differently. But now, Manchin did say this in an interview with the Washington Post. So I'm going to provide the context here. He was asked, do you support the $2,000 stimulus checks? And his response in context was, absolutely not. No. Getting people vaccinated, that's job number one. How is the money that we invest now going to help us best get jobs back and get people employed? And I can't tell you that sending another check is gonna do that to a person that's already got a check. Now, I hope he's not talking about the $600 tiny check, because it's a tiny check. Let's be real. Now, when asked about Schumer's comments who is obviously in favor of the $2,000 stimulus checks, Manchin said, we have a difference of opinion. That's the beauty of the whole caucus. We have a difference of opinion on that. Well, apparently beauty to Joe Manchin is burning Joe Biden's promise to send $2,000 checks to the ground. Formal discussions and negotiations are expected to begin on the next stimulus package within the next few days. And this also brings up Joe Biden's tax plan. Well, according to Axios, we are expecting, and whether or not we are going to get $1,400 or $2,000 stimulus checks. Well, Axios has a good piece for us on this with inside information from the Biden camp. We are expecting from Joe Biden $1,400. So that way, the $600 tiny check plus $1,400 equals $2,000 checks. So this would be an additional $1,400 in payments, not the full $2,000. Every time I've mentioned the $2,000 on this channel, I've always mentioned it's possible it could be either one of those options. Entirely possible that it would just be $1,400. It looks like it's going to be $1,400. By the way, if any of this stresses you out, remember, folks, life insurance link down below, and the coupon code for the amazing courses on building your wealth expires tonight, so check that out. Now, money for state and local governments will be the next priority after the $1,400 stimulus checks. And this also includes a priority of freeing up vaccine doses. Right now, the Trump administration is only allowing first doses to be released while storing second doses so that people can come back and get their second dose and guaranteed have the second dose available. Biden will instead release all doses immediately, increasing vaccination rates and hoping that manufacturing catches up by the time people need to come take their second dose. Biden will also push his Build Back Better plan. This is where we talk taxes. This will come up in the spring. His plan is to release his tax plan and his infrastructure plan together. This means the tax changes could be coming way sooner than expected. I did not think that he would pass the stimulus package in January and February only to tax it away in April or May, but I might be wrong. Apparently, Biden's plan is to release his Build Back Better plan in the spring, and this plan includes a $2 trillion infrastructure plan for green jobs. This will only require 51 votes because he will try to pass the infrastructure plan through the budget reconciliation measures that allow him to only need 51 votes, which they would have. That lets him bypass the filibuster in the Senate. He also will probably be including provisions to pay for his infrastructure plan by increasing capital gains taxes on those making more than $400,000 by taxing capital gains as ordinary income. And we may also see tax increases come for those making over $400,000, not just for capital gains, but also by increasing the highest federal tax rate closer to 40%. This means tax increases, again, could be coming much sooner than expected. And this is where a lot of Democrats are going to go, doesn't matter, don't make $400K. And this is where a lot of Republicans are going to go, see, this is what happens when you give Democrats control. Of course, everybody's got their side. I'm just providing the information here. Now, the $2,000 stimulus check issue, I just want to provide a little bit more depth on this, and this is now my commentary, so I'm going into my opinion here. My opinion is the $2,000 checks, the $1,400 issue, might get held up by Joe Manchin temporarily, but I think Joe Manchin will end up rolling and going for the $1,400. Joe Manchin is probably going to put up a fuss in the meantime, though, to try to gain leverage for whatever priority he might be interested in. This is very commonly done in Congress. Somebody says, I don't support that. And then Joe Biden has to go to that person and go, what do you want? And then, we really want a new park over here in my district. That's how things get done in Congress. You might disagree with how the process works, but that's how the process works. So, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this very detailed video helpful, consider sharing it, consider subscribing. Folks, use that coupon code down below before it expires tomorrow. Get your life insurance, get your 4 free stocks with Webull via the link down below, and folks, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.